In 1977, Heatwave burned up the charts and the dance floors with a good time anthem called Boogie Nights, establishing themselves as one of pop music's most captivating bands. But from the start, Heatwave remained a remarkably elusive band to American fans.
The Ohio Players or Kool and the Gang, you knew the members, you knew their names, you had your favorite. That was not the case with Heatwave. They were just a very mysterious group.
Heatwave really was a group like no other. Based in London, they boasted members from 5 different countries and were fronted by a pair of smooth-singing brothers from Dayton, Ohio, Keith and Johnnie Wilder, whose vocal styles could segue from rough house funk to silky balladry.
Always and forever.
He had a fantastic voice.
Each moment with you.
But right behind that is the kind of gritty vocal sound of Keith Wilder.
You have people from all over the world. But when we got together, it just clicked.
Indeed, for all their differences, Heatwave forged a sound and a brotherhood greater than the sum of their parts. That bond would serve them well, as they stuck together through career challenges and personal tragedies that few could have imagined. Johnnie Wilder Jr. and his younger brother Keith were 2 of 5 brothers who grew up in Dayton, Ohio, home of such groundbreaking 70s bands as the Ohio Players, Lakeside, Slave, Sun, Zap, and many more. Johnny and Rosalind married in 1969. Stationed in Germany, he began singing in local bands. Following his discharge, he fronted a group originally named Chicago Heatwave. It featured a guitarist from Chicago's South Side named Jesse Whittens, soon joined by a bass player from Switzerland named Mario Mantese. Next, Johnny found a keyboard player who had put an ad in a music trade paper, Rod Temperton.
Rod has said he was a keyboard player and he was looking for a gig, a group to work with. So Johnny said, well, let's go meet him. And there was Rod in this little room, I mean, so tiny, with his cigarettes, his black coffee, and a book of songs. I mean, so many songs.
I used to call him Rod the God. Why? Rod, he would compose day and night. Day and night.
Rounding out the group was a jazz drummer from Czechoslovakia named Ernest Berger. In the aftermath of Jesse Whittens' death, Johnnie Wilder vowed to keep Heatwave going. First, he brought in a guitarist named Eric Johns. Then he reached back to Dayton for an up-and-coming singer in a local band, his younger brother, Keith. Though still struggling financially, the band moved from Germany to London, a music industry capital. With Rod Temperton writing the songs, Johnny and Keith forged a singing style and a dance routine that gave Heatwave the flavor of Ohio funk. The combination was compelling, especially on high-energy tracks like Ain't No Half Steppin'. Heatwave's high-octane gigs at London clubs led to a deal in 1976 with GTO Epic Records. They quickly set to work on their first album, titled Too Hot to Handle. High-energy tracks like Ain't No Half Stepping and Boogie Nights showed off Heatwave's slick moves on the dance floor. Then they smoothly switched gears and unveiled one of Rod Temperton's most enduring romantic ballads.
Always and forever.
That's brilliant.
Each moment with you.
Always and Forever will go down in the annals of love songs as being one of the great ones that could be on that top 100 list easily.
As their debut album was rising on the charts, Heatwave was altering its lineup. When guitarist Eric Johns quit to get married, he was replaced by Roy Carter and Bill Jones. But for American record buyers, the entire band still remained strangely anonymous.
In America, we had no picture. People didn't know what we were. They didn't know what we looked like. They didn't have a clue.
Johnnie Wilder decided that the best way to win over America was to perform there.
I remember them ending with some kind of formation like that that left the audience kind of like spellbound, like asking, okay, now, what was that I just saw?
It was like watching a circus on stage. They were very acrobatic. And here come these two guys tumbling over the speakers onto the front of the stage, and they were dancing and moving and sliding all around. The steps were cool.
And we did pyramids with the band. They stood on me and Johnny's shoulders. Me and Johnny did flips. People said, what in the world are they doing?
The strength and sophistication of Heatwave's music also attracted the attention of top American producers.
Heatwave was looking for a producer, and at the time, the big players were Quincy Jones, Phil Ramone, a couple other big producers at that time. Well, Quincy was not available.
But in the meantime, Quincy was interested in Rod writing some songs for some of the projects that he was doing.
In years to come, Rod Temperton would write hits for Quincy, Rufus, Donna Summer, George Benson, and most famously, Michael Jackson. Ironically, some were songs that Heatwave passed up.
He gave us the first dibs. And Johnny was the one that would say yes or no to him. Some of them we actually recorded, and Johnny said no to them.
There were songs like Rock With You, and Johnny turned it down. And Rod said, I'll give it to Michael.
He did tell us, I'm giving it to Michael. Oh, who? McDonald? No, Jackson. Oh, okay, great.
We always used to tease him. Hey, man, that sounds like a Heatwave song. Why are you giving it to them? Your brother turned that one down. He didn't want it. I said, gee, what?
After touring America in the fall of 1977, Heatwave returned to London in triumph. Their debut album was a platinum-selling success. By early '78, they were back in the studio.
The first album was just fun. This one, you didn't want to become a one-hit wonder. So a lot of thought went in the second album and how we should mix up the music.
Vowing to build on their momentum, Johnnie Wilder drove the band harder than ever. And once again, Rod Temperton tailored his songs to fit Johnny's band and vocal arrangements.
Groove Line, one of the big funky tracks from that album. That's where we got a chance to show off more.
Groove Line reached number 7 on the U.S. pop charts, their biggest hit in America since Boogie Nights. As Heatwave grappled with the knife attack that nearly killed bassist Mario Mantese, their second album, Central Heating, rose up the charts. Mind-blowing Decisions hit number 12 in England and helped push the album to number 10 on the U.S. pop charts. With Derek Bramble joining the band on bass, Heatwave prepared to record their next album. Then on February 24th, 1979, while Johnnie Wilder was visiting his parents in Dayton, everything changed.
He called and said, Mom, I'm gonna come take you to lunch. And I said, okay. So I kept waiting and waiting.
He was taking Rosalind's little brother to the Art Institute for some music lessons he was doing. And somebody ran the stop sign, broadsided him, you know, just, the stop sign was down.
Johnnie Wilder remained in the hospital for nearly a year. His spinal cord was severed. He would never walk again. Despite his infirmities, Johnny vowed to do everything in his power to keep Heatwave going. He even had the band pick up stakes from London and move to Dayton.
He loved the fellas like that. And he wanted to sort of protect them and trying to keep everything going.
In 1980, the band went back to the studio to record tracks for their fourth album, Candles. For that, Johnny trained himself to sing again. The result was a radio-ready hit from Rod Temperton called Gangsters of the Groove. For Johnnie Wilder, a return to singing marked a new phase of his musical journey. For Heatwave, it marked the beginning of the end. Johnnie Wilder forged a successful return to singing on Heatwave's fourth album, Candles. Soon after that, he tried to rejoin the band on stage as well.
He told me after he finished with that, he didn't want to do it anymore. Because he said when he got out there and he started singing, he saw, as he looked out into the audience, he saw looks of sympathy. And he didn't want that.
Johnny's retreat soon spelled the end of Heatwave's recording career. In 1983, after their fifth album, Currents, failed to climb the charts, they were dropped from their label.
Johnny was the driving force behind Heatwave. He was the driving force. He was the man out there. And I think after his injury, the record company kind of said, well, the main guy's down. The rest of the guys, they're okay. But he's the main guy.
Ironically, Heatwave's demise in '83 coincided with Rod Temperton's greatest success, writing the title song for the best-selling album of all time, Michael Jackson's Thriller.
You don't think of him in the same way as you think of, let's say, like a John Lennon or Paul McCartney. Even though, if you look at the string of hits that he's generated, he's clearly a very special person in American music.
Deeply shy of the spotlight, Temperton has rarely appeared on camera since leaving Heatwave and declined to be interviewed for Unsung. On May 17, 2006, more than 25 years after his devastating accident, Johnnie Wilder Jr. died peacefully in his sleep.
He had fulfilled his dreams. You know, I believe he really did. So that was a welcoming thing. The other thing he left me with is the group to continue on the good work that he had laid down in the foundation. And I do. When I go out on stage, I carry him on stage with me every time.